Hey everybody, this is Lex Luger, the Total Package, and you are listening to Markin Out.
This is Markin Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans, we marking out, y'all. Follow on Twitter. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans, we marking out, y'all. Marking Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans, we marking out, y'all. Brennan likes fisting. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans, we marking out, y'all. We're marking out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans.
Welcome to Markin Out, Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. This is episode 752. Make sure that you check us out, markinout.com, and make sure that you subscribe, download, and give us a 5-star rating to go with that 5-star frog splash wherever you are listening to podcasts, such as Spotify. Everybody loves Spotify. Go download it over there. Also, buy a t-shirt at prowrestlingtees.com/markinout. Give us a like on Facebook. Give us a follow on TikTok at Markin Out. Give us a follow on Twitter at Markin Out or X. And on Instagram at MarkinOut11. You can follow me on all social media platforms at DavidPTDPT. You can follow Chris over at Chris Sweendog on Twitter and CMSweeney85 on Instagram. And follow Brandon on all social media platforms at BTTG161. Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing awesome as always-ish. Again, still, I feel like I'm dealing with the allergies. That maybe it's not even allergies. I don't know at this point.
Well, I gotta say, you seemed pretty good when we met up.
Yeah, I've been good. But my voice went out, kind of went out yesterday, so...
Yeah,
the AEW
you've been,
audio
going back and forth with something.
The AEW audio is rough. I'll say that. Spoiler alert.
Oh no. Yeah, you've been going back and forth with something, But yeah, so me and Brandon actually got to meet up and have some pizza in good old Freeport. Check out Ramos.
It's Brandon and
Delicious.
I got a chicken sandwich. I didn't get pizza. Just got to correct that.
Yes, he did. And it looked delicious.
Yeah.
You could check actually out an image of it over at Brandon's Instagram.
Yeah, BTTG161. It was fine. It wasn't like anything to be like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. It could have been a lot better.
I think that the pizza was actually very impressive. The last time that I had it, I wasn't really too impressed by it. But there was something about this one where it had no drop factor. Like, the edge of the pizza, when you fold it or you hold it up,
do you mean
there's
flop?
sometimes like that little... Yeah, the flop. The flop on there. And this one had no flop. And I gotta say, I am a fan of no flop on the pizza. So, I'm all about it.
I've been to so many pizza places. I've never been in a pizza place that smoky before.
Yeah, either Cheech and Chong were in the kitchen or something was going on.
I feel like we would have smelled it if Cheech and Chong were in the kitchen, but also I didn't smell like burning pizza or anything. It was a very interesting setup. It was very weird.
If there was a fire or something burning, we would have smelled that too, but we just didn't smell that either.
Perhaps it was a fog. I have no idea.
Yeah, but it was definitely enjoyable. Brandon got his goods.
Which I appreciate.
Yes, of course. Got the autographs,
I got my Japanese Kit Kats. I'll be able to, I don't know when, but eventually make a TikTok video with me trying the different Kit Kats, and then I'm going to give them to my Nana because she loves Kit Kats.
Mm-hmm.
Which I hope she likes. I'm sure she will.
Yeah. Hey, if she doesn't like it, you just eat all of them.
Well, I mean, who's to say I'll like them?
I mean... save me one of those, what was it, raspberry cheesecakes?
Blueberry.
That looked pretty cool. In the box is shaped like Mount Fuji.
It's blueberry.
Blueberry.
But I will say I wish it was the original Mount Fuji flavor because that was strawberry cheesecake.
I don't know if I saw a Mount Fuji flavor.
What do you mean?
They had
that was the one that you got. The blueberry cheesecake is Mount Fuji, they call it.
Oh.
The original,
so which flavor were you?
The original version of this Mount Fuji was strawberry cheesecake, I believe.
Oh, so you mean that this was a totally different one?
Yeah, but that's
I think that they did have a.
When you were in Japan, you told me what this was, and I looked it up, and I knew going into it that it was blueberry cheesecake.
Yeah, I feel like I did see a strawberry flavored Kit Kat.
But the strawberry one that I wanted was a chocolate strawberry one, and they didn't have that.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one.
And then
I saw
wanted
many different ones.
I think I wanted a caramel one also, but they didn't have it.
Yeah, I don't remember a caramel.
Part of me thinks I should have gotten a wheat one. Did you see any wheat?
I don't think I saw a wheat one.
I feel like those are big. They have some at Epcot, but then you're paying Epcot prices, so
yeah, your best option is probably just buying it on Amazon.
I'm not sure.
Probably
about
got
that.
an Amazon. What about one of those? Like I always see it on Instagram now because I'm seeing so many reels. Is like getting one of those Kit Kat bags from Japan, or at least
that might still be cheaper to do it through Epcot. I know they have a bunch of like those Japanese snack boxes that look interesting.
Yeah, one of those.
I'd love to try one, but most of those flavors are all like, here's shrimp, dried shrimp, here's lobster, here's fish, here's
I didn't see any of those flavors.
Not Kit Kat. I'm talking about like chips, though.
Oh, no. I was like, I almost, the only one that I was really thinking about buying. Yeah, right. The only one that I was really thinking about buying was the cookies and cream Kit Kat. But I was like, you know what? I don't need it, really.
That sounds like an American
they already
flavor.
have. Huh?
It sounds like we have that here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have the Hershey's cookies and cream chocolate bar.
But I mean, I feel like we have cookies and cream Kit Kats. Maybe.
Do we?
I don't know.
I want to say that I've seen it before, but I really don't remember.
I feel like how do they not?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say they do. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they don't. I don't know. We'll see. I'll Google it.
Yeah.
Apparently we don't.
But,
that's bizarre.
Do you want to talk about the boards you got or not now?
No, I don't need to talk about the boards.
I thought that the boards that you got were pretty cool. The Shikishi boards.
Yeah, I got 11 CMLL ones, which I wish I knew it was Pequeño Damien 666. Not that it's a big difference, but in the scheme of things, price wise, it's not a big difference. But it's cool to have those. I'm a fan of Maximo, so I'm happy that I got that one in there. I got Minoru Suzuki. That's not part of the CMLL one. You gifted me a Tanahashi one, which I'm grateful for. And we're addicted to checking Totocon for their new stuff and seeing the new Shikishi board stuff.
Yeah, they got a Ric Flair up there, King Kong Bundy.
It's just such a unique item for Japan, and I don't know if it's like as highly regarded as we put it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know, but I mean, if you have Ric Flair signing it, then perhaps it is. I mean, all those. I mean, you have Mil Mascaras, tons of people.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think that it's so unique to have to Japan is having a signed Shikishi board.
I don't know.
And
I wonder if it's like just because I'm pretty sure it might be like even bigger for sumo, because sumo stars like I see often they have their handprints with their signatures. So I think it's with the kanji. So,
yeah.
But outside of what?
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say outside of meeting up for lunch, I grilled some corn and onions. That my brother grilled steak. This was probably the first time I used the grill since the fall. Maybe the fall.
Wow. Why?
Well, I'm not really a winter barbecue guy.
What about spring?
Yeah, I just it wasn't a thing this year.
Yeah, you could have barbecued during the spring. We had many hot days.
I don't care if it's hot. I will 100% grill in the winter if I wanted to, but
I think that you did this past winter even.
I don't think so.
No, I feel like you did it once when it was snowing outside.
Maybe like 2 years ago. I don't know.
Oh, it's
maybe even 3 years ago at this point. I don't know. But I like grilling. I just wish I had better. I hate the way I make steak. I haven't perfected that yet, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the grilled corn was fantastic. I'll say that.
No, I'm sure. I still think some of the best corn I've ever had from Jordan's Lobster Farm.
Ugh.
They're sweet corn.
That's what corn
really
is.
Good.
What do you mean?
No, they like coat it in sugar, I believe, or something.
Corn is typically called sweet corn, so I don't know if they. I can't say for a fact
really?
that they. Yeah, it's sweet corn.
Never called it sweet corn. I've always called it corn on the cob. It's not sweet corn.
But like the corn that we get, I think is sweet corn. There's like different varieties.
I don't know.
I'm almost certain. I could be wrong. I don't want the corn community coming after me.
No, that sounds like very could become a corny situation. But let's move on to some pro wrestling talk, because Night of Champions took place this past week, and it was full of a ton of action. So where do you want to start?
The King of the Ring.
Let's do it.
Cody Rhodes picked up the victory
off.
over Randy Orton to win the King of the Ring. I don't know if it mattered what they did in the actual match. It was one of those matches where the fans were just going nuts from the start to the finish, and they were completely split, maybe, would you say?
I would agree. I think that it was definitely split, and you had both of them were hitting their finishers right and left. You had a ton of AAs taking place by Cena. With Punk kicking out of them.
Brother, what part are you at? What are you talking about?
Oh, I scrolled. I was looking at the proper part in my my notes. Long day.
But Cody Rhodes, as this match goes, I don't think it was what I was expecting it to be. It wasn't a bad match, but I guess I didn't expect it to be so slow.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get the chair spot with the turnbuckle. That it led directly to Randy Orton losing, and it keeps him protected, but I didn't care for that spot at all.
Yeah, I didn't know why Randy Orton wanted to cheat to pick up the victory. I didn't understand that part. Why use
but like not even
chair
cheat, but like in front of the referee.
Well, that too. The referee didn't even attempt to put the turnbuckle back on it, I don't believe.
Yeah, I did not.
It just didn't make
understand
sense to me, especially with Orton being a mentor for Cody Rhodes. I didn't understand the turnbuckle spot, but yeah.
People are like oh, this is foreshadowing Cody Rhodes turning heel at SummerSlam. That's possible, but I just didn't get that.
I don't see the foreshadowing because it wasn't Cody that initiated it.
But it was Cody who used it to his advantage.
I guess. I mean, we've had John Cena try to get him to use the chair in the past, and he never did. So who knows? Maybe it just took Randy Orton to give him what he needed in order to turn to that dark side. But next up, you had Rhea Ripley pick up the victory over Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. This entire match, it was dominated very early by Raquel Rodriguez, and the powerbomb through the timekeeper's table was awesome. But then everything that Rhea Ripley fighting all the way back, hitting a razor's edge even.
Yeah, I liked
it was really good.
I liked when Raquel caught Rhea Ripley from the Hurricane Rana off the table, and then she powerbombed her through the cowl of that commentary table.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Roxanne Perez get involved, and Rhea went after her. All three of them looked like they were on a team together.
Mm-hmm.
All three of them were wearing the bodysuit, the leather, the studs or whatever.
And I marked out at the end the avalanche riptide from the top rope on top of the table. I thought that was really a cool spot, and
not
to seal the
something you
victory for
see.
Rhea Ripley.
Not something you see done often. The only other time, I'm sure it was done a few other times, but especially
not too
recently,
often with women wrestlers.
I feel like we would have seen something similar in a War Games match. I'm not 100% sure. But the only spot like that sticks out in my mind is the Angle slam to Shane McMahon. That Kurt Angle did, and he was like, I'm never doing a spot like that ever again.
Yeah, that was something else. But
yeah.
Next up, you had Sami Zayn pick up the victory over Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross getting a ton of cheers over Sami Zayn. I was surprised at that, but Karrion Kross having that early control hitting. Yeah, I think so. I think he got a great reaction.
But I feel like Sami Zayn got like that mega star reaction.
True, especially his entrance.
I thought this match, I thought Karrion Kross was going to be way more vicious in this match.
You probably needed to be.
There were signs of
the
it.
Outcome.
There were little bits and pieces of it, but not really what I was hoping. Karrion Kross.
I definitely would rather it seem back a little bit more, but Zayn rallying back after getting hit with multiple Saito suplexes and then the cross jacket, but Sami Zayn hitting the Blue Thunder Bomb.
Sami Zayn got out of that chokehold twice.
Kick. Yeah, true, but
and then
no
Karrion
Kross,
that
haluva kick.
Karrion Kross went. He hit that clothesline in the corner, folding Sami Zayn up, and then he went for another one, and then Sami Zayn rocked him with that haluva to win. After that, Solo Sikoa picked up the victory over Jacob Fatu to become the new United States champion. Would you say Solo controlled a good chunk of this over Jacob Fatu? Not something we typically are used to with Jacob Fatu?
I think that it was a good mix back and forth. There was a lot of times where Solo did control, but there was also so much interference from JC Materio and Tangaloa.
Yeah,
with distractions.
When Jacob Fatu took over, you had Jeff Cobb distract the referee. Tangaloa made his return and pushed Jacob Fatu off the top rope. And Jacob Fatu takes both of them up, and then Hikuleu finally shows up, takes Fatu down to help Solo Sikoa win. He's now Tala Tonga, I believe. I think that's what they said on the post show. Which I find to be interesting because he worked 2 dark matches in a row as Hikuleu.
Yeah, Tala Tonga.
So,
but that chokeslam, and what I thought was interesting was after he hit that chokeslam to Fatu through the announcer table, he hit like Fatu's shake, rattle, and roll kind of a thing.
It's nice to see him finally show up. And be used, I should say.
Yeah, I agree.
We had Jade Cargill pick up the victory over Asuka to win the Queen of the Ring. I think Jade probably had the best gear from this whole entire show with her tribute to Storm. Asuka did a lot of heavy lifting here. She controlled the majority of this match. The jaded
knee bars. Yeah, hitting, like, she was locking in a knee bar a bunch of times, but I gotta say, I'm sorry, she deserves to lose after trying to attempt and end the match with the Empress Impact. I don't like that as a finish for her. It's not a good finish.
Yeah, well, Jade Cargill, that jaded seemed abrupt after she reversed that Empress Impact. So, and then the IWC complained about it, the way she fell over on her pin. I think, who cares?
That she fell over on the pin?
Yeah.
It's okay. She was tired.
But technically, I guess maybe her shoulders were also down, so maybe. But then it goes back to the whole kayfabe thing. It's what the referee sees.
Yeah.
Main event saw John Cena pick up the victory over CM Punk to retain the championship. CM Punk wore that very similar color scheme to Money in the Bank 2011, the Chicago colors. this was a lot for me like that opening match where it didn't matter what they did in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because from start to finish, the fans were going nuts for the whole match. And I think, honestly, this was probably what you could have expected from a 2025 John Cena match.
Yeah.
John Cena hit the 3 attitude adjustments, like you had said earlier in the review.
As I read through the wrong part of my notes,
he grabbed the WWE Championship and then ends up sliding it out of the ring. And he went for another attitude adjustment, only for CM Punk to scoop him up to hit the GTS. The referee got knocked out of the ring.
So hold on, before you go forward, is this a sign of like John Cena still having a little bit of good within him, while Cody Rhodes earlier has a little bit of bad within him?
Who knows?
There's more to this, Brandon.
But this is where it got me, because the referee gets knocked out. CM Punk basically had the match won there, but then notices the referee is not there. We take this two different ways. CM Punk waved at the entranceway. I thought for sure, I for whatever, maybe I didn't even realize the referee was knocked out. Did we see that at that point? We had to have, right?
I think so. I think we already knew that the referee was knocked out.
I don't know. For whatever reason in my head, I thought CM Punk was calling for backup against John Cena, and Seth Rollins and company end up coming out. That literally, this similar spot happened on AEW the other week. So I
took it.
I mean, yeah, you took it as him waving for a referee. I feel like in my head I should have seen that. I don't know why I didn't. And for whatever reason, I thought CM Punk was calling for Seth Rollins, and that they were about to work together for some reason, which made zero sense. And then
Brandon
went
was
after.
having a moment.
I have no idea why I thought that was what was going to happen. And then they all went after CM Punk. John Cena, you have Charles Robinson do the WrestleMania run down the ramp, only to get pounced by John Cena. Made it to a Topps card, probably a 101 signed card out there too, for Charles Robinson. That was a fantastic spot. And Rollins swung on Cena.
Yeah, that spot, I love that throwback spot.
Yeah. Rollins swung on John Cena, but got hit with the attitude adjustment. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker jumped John Cena. Penta came out. Everyone's like, why did Penta just do his walk? Well, it drew Braun Breaker away from the ring.
He wasn't even supposed to get to the ring. He was just to draw Braun Breaker away. But also, I believe that was John Cena in the ring getting beaten up at the time. I keep on hearing people say that CM Punk was in the ring getting beaten up. I'm almost positive it was CM Punk that was getting beaten up at the time in the ring.
You mean John Cena?
So,
You said CM Punk.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I heard people saying
Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker jumped John Cena at that point.
Exactly, yeah. When I was listening to like Busted Open, they were making mention of them jumping CM Punk, and I'm like, no, that's not what it was. I'm pretty positive from what I remember, was John Cena that got jumped.
Well, no, they also went after they went after Punk, and then they went after Cena.
Exactly, but why would Penta try to get involved to help Cena?
He wasn't a heel. Penta was not getting involved to help John Cena. He was not getting involved to help CM Punk. He was getting involved because 100%. Braun Breaker has been getting involved in his stuff, and Bronson Reed.
I agree with you.
So that drew Braun Breaker away. They brawled. Sami Zayn came out, fought with Braun Breaker as well, or Bronson Reed at that point. I don't remember. And then Penta took both of them out. So. And then CM Punk dumped Bronson Reed off the top rope. John Cena hit the attitude adjustment. CM Punk offered John Cena a handshake. And they hugged. And then John Cena did that heel hug. Seth Rollins got involved again. John Cena tossed him out of the ring. And just in time, that John Cena gets the win there. The referee gets back in the ring.
Just in time, as the referee should.
And people are like, what the hell? The referee was there the whole time. He didn't hear any of this. He didn't see any of this. That's pro wrestling.
Why are you supposed to see
I don't know. But we'll put a pin in that. We'll put a big pin in that.
Yeah.
Moving to Monday Night Raw, it kicked off with Rhea Ripley. She went to talk about Evolution, and Io Sky interrupted. And she said that Rhea can't be on top without having the championship. Adam Pearce said that she gets to pick who she gets to defend the championship at Evolution against. She picked Rhea Ripley. Rhea warned her, saying that if this is what she wants, then she needs Io to know that this is what Io wanted, and she's going to get it. I don't necessarily think Rhea Ripley's beating Io Sky there, but I hope not.
Yeah. I hope not either, but Rhea Ripley is so over.
I'm sure there's people out there calling her Rhea Hogan because of that match.
I don't I'm sorry.
I mean, that's
but
a
look
hot
at the
topic.
reaction that she's...
Yeah, that's goofy. You're goofy. You're absolutely goofy. If I can't, I'm not going to curse, but you're goofy. Just know you're goofy if you say something like that.
Like, she is so over. She has been putting on great matches. She's very entertaining. She's been in the top faction for the past, well, not anymore, of course, but when she was with Judgment Day, and then let's not forget the storyline with her and Liv Morgan and how great that was and entertaining. Fans are just
we see it with Becky Lynch. We see it now with Sami Zayn, the underdog. Sammy Hogan, get the flying out of here.
No, we're getting the Sammy Hogan too?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy I don't go into the Twitter. Sammy Hogan? People are so bizarre.
So after that, we saw the Judgment Day pick up the victory over the New Day to become the new WWE Tag Team Champions. Before this, they had a segment with Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles. Dominic is still injured. AJ Styles put on his readers for this. I thought that was a very interesting segment between the two of them. People still seem to think AJ Styles is showing up in AEW next month for some reason.
Yes, that seems very, very logical. Very logical. 100%.
But as far as this match goes, it was very interesting to see Xavier Woods in trunks. I don't know if we've ever seen that before. But they had some good back and forth. Finn Balor accidentally hit the coup de grace on JD McDonough. And I thought that was it. The New Day hit the midnight hour on Finn Balor. Balor kicked out of that. And I thought that was going to be the end of the match. Xavier Woods ended up clocking Finn Balor with the championship, while on the other end of the ring, JD McDonough was also cheating. And I thought that was funny. And then
they have such great team together.
Yeah, and then he kicked out of that. Finn Balor ends up crotching Xavier Woods with Kofi. I like that. The use of Kofi to do that to Xavier Woods. JD McDonough hit the Spanish Fly on Xavier Woods. Kofi broke that pin up. This match was, I think I would say, fire. And then JD McDonough ended up hitting a moonsault while Finn Balor followed that up with a coup de grace to win. I think very unexpected. The crowd popped big time for that title change.
Mm-hmm.
Did they... I wish they did more with this New Day title run. Does this make the Judgment Day faces? I don't know. The crowd was very happy to see them win. They were cheering for the Judgment Day during this match.
I think that they could... It's so tough. I mean, they're not... I don't know. Maybe they are faces.
I mean, well, we know they're not faces, but...
I mean, yeah, but they're loved.
And then Finn Balor spoke to the GMs about the Women's Tag Team Championships, and they said that Roxanne can prove she's worthy in a fatal four-way at Evolution with a team from Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So there goes the Bella Twins. I assume the Dungeon Dolls will be in this from Monday Night Raw. I think Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I'll probably talk about that later. And then either Fatal Influence or Zaruka from NXT, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, the Judgment Day voted Roxanne in just because they want Raquel to stay champion. Dominic was like, I need to talk to Liv. And Balor was like, no, just vote. So he like reluctantly voted her yes. So, and Raquel did that as well. Raquel didn't really want to vote Roxanne in.
No.
And then the GMs announced the Battle Royal for Evolution, where the winner goes to clash at Paris for a championship match. Ivy Nile was backstage and she said she's getting herself that championship match. And then we see the return. Haven't seen him in weeks. El Grande Americano walked by. This comes after American Made were interviewed earlier, and Chad Gable told everybody that he needs the shoulder surgery.
Yeah, I mean, you made a prediction last week, I believe it was, or 2 weeks ago. I didn't believe you. I thought it didn't make sense.
Ludwig Kaiser was in that segment earlier. He was in the segment last week, lurking. And who knows? We don't know if it's Ludwig Kaiser or not.
I mean...
The legend El Grande Americano.
Next up, you had Rusev pick up the victory over Sheamus. The Redeemer having a hard-hitting battle in front of him against Sheamus, but he picked up the victory with a pinfall.
And I think this is what you probably could have hoped for this match to have been.
Mm-hmm.
The kick out from Rusev after Sheamus hit that running knee, I thought was really well done. But Sheamus at one point powers out of the Accolade. Rusev held on, and they both spilled to the outside. Sheamus rocked him with a bro kick. And then Rusev beat the 10 count. He exposed the turnbuckle, pulled Sheamus into it. I don't know how that was not a disqualification. Because the referee definitely saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he hit the Machka kick to win.
Yeah.
Best of 7, I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind, but I hope to see, now that he defeated Sheamus, I need to see what they're going to do with Sheamus right now.
I need to see what they're going to do with Rusev.
I mean, I'm sorry, yeah, Rusev.
After that, you had Gunther come out and said that he's very capable of beating Goldberg in under 3 minutes. But that's not his goal. His goal is to tear him apart. It's to blow him up and embarrass him in front of everyone close to him. And he said he's going to expose Goldberg and we'll never have to see him again. And we'll see that Goldberg never even had it in the first place. And then Gunther questioned who's next. Seth Rollins came out. He's got a custom Money in the Bank briefcase. It's black and gold. If it lines up with his Titantron and his nameplate, could we see a different colored case every single week? Or do you think they're going to stick with the black and gold?
I don't know if they were planning on switching it every week, but I really do like that idea to switch it every week.
Because his outfit was black this week. His Trons were the black Trons this week, so...
Yeah,
but
I like the idea.
Seth Rollins said he wanted to congratulate Gunther for winning the World Heavyweight Championship. He didn't get to do that yet. And he said that he didn't go to Night of Champions to cash in. It was to stop CM Punk. He said it many moons ago. For as long as I'm in WWE, you will not win that championship. And I will do whatever I can to make sure you don't win that title. And then CM Punk showed up. They brawled. Seth escaped. And CM Punk went to walk off. Gunther hooks him back. And Punk knocked Gunther down. That little do-si-do, that knockdown was very unexpected.
Yeah.
So it seems like we could potentially see Gunther versus CM Punk.
I agree. I wasn't expecting to see Gunther versus CM Punk, but I think that's what we are leading up to right now.
And then in the crowd where Seth Rollins escaped, LA Knight showed up behind him and then fought in the crowd. They fought in the concourse. I thought that was an unexpected moment there.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier on, Bayley was interviewed, which was interrupted by Lyra Valkyria. And she asked why she can't return her text messages. And Bayley mentioned apologizing to Lyra and said that she was going to. Both of them said it's personal between them and Becky. And then they kind of got into a tiff. Adam Pearce broke it up, made it a match. And then it ended in a draw.
Yeah. But
I was very disappointed when it got turned into a match because I wanted it to be a triple threat at Evolution.
Mm-hmm. As it should be.
And then this was I think my favorite outside of the outcome of that, but the outcome gets me what I want. This was, I think, my favorite match from Monday Night Raw. They had a lot of good reversals in this. It was hard hitting at times. Both of them obviously wanted that match with Becky Lynch at Evolution. And then it came down to where the referee ends up counting both of them. Their shoulders were both down. And then they continued to brawl. They ended up in the crowd until it was broken up. I think it's safe to say we're getting that triple threat.
We should be.
The last Evolution, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, dare I say, stole the show.
I don't even remember it.
That's probably one of Charlotte Flair's best matches.
Mm-hmm.
One of Becky Lynch's best matches.
I can't even remember. But next up, you had Sami Zayn, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker pick up the victory over Penta and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn and Penta, they actually had the upper hand for a good amount, but before
Bronson Reed, earlier in the night, Karrion Kross attacked Sami Zayn backstage with a pipe.
True.
And Seth Rollins, after that brawl with LA Knight, he ended up leaving. And it had Bronson Reed questioning where Seth Rollins was. But like you said, even with hurt ribs, Sami Zayn was was able to do a lot of stuff in this match. Paul Heyman distracted the referee at one point. Sami Zayn was able to make the save. He literally kept doing everything he could to keep surviving in this match. And the only thing that he couldn't, I guess, stop was he turned into Braun Breaker's spear. And I thought, given that Seth Rollins was gone for the night, maybe Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker would lose. I was kind of surprised to see, I don't know, the way this match was going with Sami Zayn doing everything in his power to win. I was kind of surprised to see Reed and Breaker win.
I like that Reed and Breaker won. I feel like they can't lose right now. I don't want them to.
Yeah, and then Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker beat them down afterwards. Jey Uso made the save with a chair, took them out. So we'll put a pin in that.
But
moving over to SmackDown, it kicked off with Joe Hendry picking up the victory over Wes Lee with Trick.
NXT.
Did I not say? What did I say? Moving over to SmackDown?
Yeah, you said SmackDown.
Well, moving over to NXT, Trick Williams did commentary, and I really enjoyed what he added to this match on commentary.
Mm-hmm.
You had High Rise got involved a few times, including saving Wes Lee from a pinfall. Mike Santana showed up, took them out. Joe Hendry hit the standing ovation to get the victory. It's a triple threat match at Slammiversary coming up later this month at UBS Arena between Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana. There's a contract signing at Great American Bash, apparently. I don't think it was confirmed on the show. I saw it floating around Twitter. So we'll see that contract get signed. Luca Crucifino called Tony D'Angelo out. And Luca said that he left school because of Tony, because Tony asked him to. He gave up many job opportunities at top law firms because Tony asked him to. And he's never done anything to put doubt in Tony's head. And that is what loyalty is. And then Stacks came out, thanked Luca Crucifino. Luca yelled at him and said that Stacks isn't part of the family. And then he goes and decks Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah, I thought and that was such a big, I would say that's a big swerve, you know. Crucifino decked Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo hitting the mat. And then what was really another double swerve was Stacks got into the ring and he started to, I guess,
celebrate.
Pre-celebrated because he celebrated Crucifino knocking him out, but then Crucifino took care of business. He took care of Stacks.
Yeah.
Crucifino's in business for himself.
Which I feel like they'll eventually work it out, maybe.
Maybe, but to
Luca
not see
and
that
Tony, I
coming.
should say.
I think that Tony D'Angelo has to get brought up to the main roster soon, though.
I just don't see where.
I don't either. I feel like he's been down there for a while.
Yeah.
But next up, you had Miles Bourne pick up the victory over Alexis King. And Miles Bourne keeping that momentum going with another solid victory in singles action, showcasing exactly what he's made of in that ring.
But also, I want to say
victory for him.
Lexis King looked great in this match as well.
Yeah, that's
There was
true.
just no way he was beating Miles Bourne. Miles Bourne won with a zigzag, and that had me wanting to see Nick Nemeth versus Miles Bourne.
Yeah.
So, I'd like
Next
to see
up,
that.
you had Laney Reed pick the victory over Thea Hale. Kind of surprising to me.
This stemmed from Laney Reed telling Thea that she hasn't changed at all since, I guess, leaving Chase U. And, yeah, this was kind of surprising. Very surprising. But if they're pushing Laney, I'm here for it. She's proven to be good in the ring. She's good on the mic. She tried to cheat using the ropes, which the referee saw. And then she pinned Thea Hale, and Thea was under the rope. Laney held on to the rope. The referee was on the other side, didn't see it. When we first saw Laney Reed, I would say she showed up on TV as a face. This is like full-blown heel. If they need a big heel, a next big heel, I'm here for it.
I'm okay by it.
After that, we saw Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley pick up the victory over Zaruka. Izzy is continuing to play with Tatum, and this got set up. I think they worked well as a team here. For them never having
solid pairing.
Paired up, but I don't want. It's like I enjoyed Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley as a team. I don't want to see Tatum Paxley be a heel, though.
I'm okay with her being a heel.
The surfboard crossbody that Sol Ruka did off Tatum's back while she was on Zaria's shoulders, I thought was cool. And then Zaria followed that up by pressing Tatum Paxley out of the ring onto Izzy Dame. I thought that was cool. Izzy ended up choke slamming Zaria, and Tatum followed that up with a somersault leg drop. Later on, Tatum pushed Izzy out of the way of Zaria's spear. And Izzy was able to get the sky high on Sol Ruka to pick up that victory. That somehow turned into a North American title shot for Izzy Dame at the Great American Bash. That's interesting.
I thought so.
It can go very... I could easily see Izzy Dame getting the help from Tatum Paxley to win the title. I would want more from Sol Ruka's title reign, though. After that, we had Ava, Ricky Saints, and Ethan Page Ethan Page said that if Ricky Saints survives a gauntlet with the Vanity Project, he can get his rematch. And Ricky Saints said that if he beats them, he gets to pick the stipulation, which Ethan Page tried to walk back, and Ava made it official. Obviously, Ricky Saints is winning the match. What the stipulation is going to be, I have no idea.
Yeah. We'll find out.
I can't even begin to guess.
No.
And then the main event, we saw
Next
Inamura pick up the victory over Jasper Troy to become the number 1 contender. I couldn't tell who was going to win this match. And it was pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Inamura picked up the victory, especially because Jasper Troy's been on a streak right now.
And part of me expected him to win, but he also just had a shot.
Yeah. True.
I think commentary did a good job at building Inamura up, speaking about his background in sumo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to seeing Obafemi versus Inamura at Great American Bash. Would I be 100% surprised if Inamura beats Obafemi? Yes, but he became number 1 contender, so I would welcome it. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I'm open to it. I'm not going to shut it down. I'm open to it.
And then Javon Evans attacked Jasper Troy to end that segment.
Yeah.
To end NXT, we had Jordynne Grace come out, and she's been questioning if she's actually good enough to be in WWE. She said she didn't grow up saying that she was going to be a WWE superstar, but she did everything that she possibly could to make it so she's like, there's no other option but WWE says, hey, we want you. And she said she's going to beat JC Jane at Evolution. Fatal Influence interrupted. And JC said that she's not going to be beat at Evolution. So many people have doubted her. Jordynne Grace said that JC shocked everyone to win the World Championship or the championship, but it won't be a shock when she beats JC. And it turned into a 3-on-1 until Blake Monroe made the save. Ava then came out, set up Fallon Henley and JC Jane versus Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe at Great American Bash. So Blake Monroe really isn't going to be champion at Evolution like I freaking thought. I have to assume she's going to be in the Battle Royal. I really don't want that. I thought they were going to be like...
she could be in the championship.
What?
I would put Jordynne Grace there first.
What do you mean?
I don't think... I think that champion-wise, I don't think that... What's her name again? Blake?
Monroe.
I don't think that she would... I don't know. Maybe I just don't know her well enough.
I thought they were strapping rockets. I thought we were going to see her win the championship at Great American Bash. The match gets turned into Jordynne Grace versus Blake Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
Does she win? No, because then the winner goes to Clash at Paris.
I mean, if that does happen, then Jordynne Grace, I feel like she would crush.
I mean,
Blake
it's
Monroe.
it's not happening. It's a tag match.
Yeah, but if it was, Jordynne Grace would have to crush her.
No,
and that would
she
be
wouldn't.
What kind of a reign would that be for Blake Monroe?
She wouldn't have to. She wouldn't have to crush her at all.
I don't know.
Jordynne Grace loses.
No.
She's never won the championship.
Disagree. I think Jordynne Grace needs to win.
Well, I mean, now it seems like she's going to win the championship.
Yes, for sure. You have to.
And then
look at the people that she came in with around. You had Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Jordynne Grace. The two of the three of them have already held titles and done so much. Jordynne Grace hasn't. She needs to.
We'll see. And then this episode ended with Fallon Henley, JC Jane running down to the ring. They brawled with Blake Monroe, Jordynne Grace, and NXT just cut off. That was it. So that was NXT. Moving over to SmackDown. It kicked off with Jacob Fatu attacking the Bloodline as they arrived at the arena, literally attacking Solo through a car window. And then later on, Nick Aldis set up a match. He told him to find a partner, and Jimmy Uso stepped up. I'll put a pin in that. Cody Rhodes came out. He spoke about the King of the Ring. He spoke about SummerSlam. And then Randy Orton came out. And he spoke about how he hesitated at Night of Champions. Cody Rhodes didn't. And he respects him for that. And then he asked Cody to promise him that he doesn't squander the opportunity at SummerSlam. And he wants him to beat John Cena, take that championship off of him. Drew McIntyre returned after a month and a half, I think, or so. And basically made fun of Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. He also tried to get into Randy Orton's head, maybe, about Cody Rhodes. And he said that he also hopes that Cody beats John Cena at SummerSlam just so he can take the title from Cody Rhodes. And then he turned into an RKO. Drew McIntyre wanted a match later on with Randy Orton. Nick Aldis said that Randy Orton already left, so he set up a match for Saturday night's main event. We saw Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair pick up the victory over the Secret Service and Mia Yim and B-Fab to move on to Evolution in that tag team match. Flair was very reluctant to accept this match, but I liked that backstage segment that set this up, or set up Charlotte and Alexa Bliss as a team. I think the outcome was obvious because they've been telling this story with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair for a few weeks now. When in the match, when Alexa Bliss went to hit that Sister Abigail DDT on B-Fab, I thought that was about to be the end of the match. But Mia Yim ends up kicking her. They kept going. Charlotte eventually speared Piper Niven, and she set up Alba Fire for a moonsault. She patted Alexa Bliss on the head, hit the moonsault, and the referee counted that as a tag, which I wouldn't count that as a tag, but whatever. Charlotte ends up knocking Chelsea Green off the apron. Alexa Bliss hit Twisted Bliss and won the match. And Charlotte really, she wasn't happy about that, but then she like that hugged Alexa Bliss, also pushed Alexa Bliss. And I think it would be interesting to see both of them team up at Evolution, possibly even win the tag team championships from the Judgment Day. So we'll see what happens there. You have the Wyatt Six pick up the victory over Humberto Carrillo, Chris Sabin, Johnny Gargano, and Montez Ford. It was interesting to have one member from each team face the Wyatt Six, but Nick Aldis set this up because all the teams last week got involved. And then Fraxium made fun of DIY for losing to Andrade and Rey Fenix, which that also got set up into a match. I liked in this match Johnny Gargano trying to work out the relationship between him and Dexter Lumis as they once were a family. He ate an uppercut for that, though. We got a moment where all 8 of them brawled at the same time. The referee lost control there, and it was chaotic. They all ended up taking Eric Rowan out of the ring, not out of the match. I liked that everyone in this match on both teams got a chance to shine. And I think it was also cool to see Chris Sabin and Johnny Gargano team up for like they did a corner move together. It was cool to see them do that little move together. Johnny Gargano ended up dropping off the apron when Chris Sabin went for a tag because Eric Rowan was waiting for him inside the ring. And he didn't want that. That led to the end of the match. Eric Rowan ends up hitting the Iron Claw Slam on Chris Sabin to pick up the victory there. After that, Tiffany Stratton came out. Like Io, Nick Aldis gave her the opportunity to pick her opponent for Evolution. And she spoke about defending the championship against Jade Cargill at SummerSlam. That brought Jade Cargill out before she could announce who she's facing at Evolution. And then she said that if Tiffany Stratton chooses the wrong person, she might end up facing somebody else at SummerSlam. And then Tiffany Stratton said she has a surprise for everyone. She brought out Trish Stratus, and I wish I could say it was an actual surprise. But after SmackDown was done taping, I saw it on the internet, unfortunately. But Tiffany Stratton picked Trish Stratus for her opponent at Evolution. Trish Stratus said that her kids have never seen her with the championship. And then Tiffany Stratton said it's not going to be easy. Not really the strongest segment, but I'm looking forward to this match at Evolution. Backstage, Jade Cargill and Trish Stratus had a segment, and Naomi afterwards ends up attacking Jade. She has her own custom Money in the Bank briefcase now, like Seth Rollins. Hers is covered in caution tape. And then Jade Cargill demanded a match to Nick Aldis. I don't know what's going to happen with that. We'll see. Yet Andrade and Rey Fenix pick up the victory over Fraxium. This was chaotic. The referee didn't have control a lot at the start. I guess maybe even throughout the match, but not like at the start. I liked the multiple time dive spot from Fraxium, which I guess you really can't do in a normal tag match without the chaos. I also liked Andrade doing the Three Amigos, followed up by the Frog Splash from Rey Fenix. Fraxium did the Brainbuster Golden Ratio spot. Andrade breaks up that pin. Fraxium set up the Spanish Fly and Phoenix Splash, which Rey Fenix broke up with a step-up code breaker. And then eventually Andrade hit the message on Nathan Fraser to pick up the win. It was fun. Yeah, the main event, Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso pick up the victory over Jeff Cobb and Solo Sikoa. This match was fine. Some of it was Solo mocking Jacob Fatu and Fatu just staring a hole through through Solo Sikoa. They finally went at it. I liked that Jacob Fatu used the Shining Star Press to take out Jeff Cobb at one point. He hit the running hip attack on both of them. He hit Solo with the moonsault. Cobb broke up that pin. And then Solo set up for Samoan Spike. Jacob Fatu turned that to the Impaler DDT. And then immediately followed that up with a double jump moonsault to win. Afterwards, though, Jacob Fatu went to continue the attack. But Tonga Loa showed up. First, Tala Tonga showed up to attack Jacob Fatu. Then Jimmy Uso got back into it. Tonga Loa came out. They ended up putting Jacob Fatu through the commentary table. So we'll see where that story progresses. That's SmackDown. Gonna take a little break right now, and I'll be right back here on Markin Out.
Hey, this is Kurt Angle. This is Marking Out, pro wrestling talk by pro wrestling fans.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Marking Out episode 752. Dynamite kicked off with Hangman Adam Page, and he said that he knows the Elite and the Death Riders are both going to be involved in their match at AEW All In Texas. So he wants his match with Jon Moxley to be a Texas death match. That led to the Death Riders coming out. And Jon Moxley said no, because Hangman doesn't really want that, and he won't walk away from it. It came to blows. Hangman went to stab Jon Moxley, but instead of stabbing him, he just waited. Had to wait, I assume, because Wheeler Yuta had to stop him. So that looked bad. But Marina Shafir got involved. She slapped the hell out of Hangman a bunch of times. The Death Riders jumped on Hangman. And Samoa Joe came out to stop the Death Riders. Hobbs and Shibata showed up right next to the Death Riders, so the Death Riders had to back up in a way like if they weren't next to each other. That part looked goofy. But Marina Shafir went to hit Hangman with that briefcase. Hangman took it. And Jon Moxley accepted the terms, the Texas Death Match. And to prove that he's willing to, no pun intended, go all in on that stipulation, Hangman hit the buckshot lariat on Marina Shafir to show that he would do anything to get that title. That was a good segment. Mercedes Moné picked up the victory over Mina Shirakawa to retain the championship. Toni Storm sat ringside with steak, looking very worried the whole match, which that didn't make sense to me. Some of this I thought was unfortunately messy. I liked that faint little kick out that Mercedes did after Mina Shirakawa hit the glamorous driver. Mercedes eventually reversed Mina Shirakawa with an inside cradle to win the match. And then she attacked Mina afterwards. Toni chased her off. But when she had her back to Mercedes, Mercedes went back in there, attacked Toni Storm, and then took the was it her 1000th match cake, and she licked it. I thought she was going to dump it on Toni Storm. I was shocked that it didn't end up on Toni Storm. Yet MJF pick up the victory over Brody King, Anthony Bowens, and AR Fox to get the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal. What has AR Fox done? He's done nothing to deserve the chance to get a number 2 spot there. MJF did commentary for some of this match and let the other 3 fight. Brody King controlled most of this match. I like the judo throw that AR Fox had on him by MJF into Anthony Bowens. And then Brody King ended up doing a cannonball onto all 3 of them. And MJF won with a modified Salt of the Earth to make sure that AR Fox's feet weren't going to touch the ropes. I don't know if that would have factored in either way, but it's too bad that Anthony Bowens doesn't win matches that he needs to win. I thought MJF was walking out winning that. It would have been nice if Bowens did, but there was no way. Mark Briscoe came out afterwards to pitch him and Max alone on the microphone next week. He's leaning into that anti-Semitic stuff from last week, which I really, really wish they wouldn't. He has new shirt with it. All the fans laugh at it, but when you break it down, it's anti-Semitic. And like I said last week, I don't think Mark Briscoe's anti-Semitic at all. I just think it's a terrible thing to have. And nobody's going to call it out. I'll call it out. I'll be the only person calling it out. Jet Speed then came out to attack the champions. Lashley took them out. They got up, got put down again. They got back up. The Hurt Business went back in, took them out. And then they got up again, which I hated. It didn't make sense to me. I assume it's going to set up a match for the championships eventually. You have the Young Bucks, Takeshita, pick up the victory over Bandito and Paragon. This was a very chaotic match, and I forgot multiple times who was legal. But with Paragon in this match, you had to know they were losing. And when I say with Paragon, I should say Paragon without Adam Cole. Takeshita and the Young Bucks hit a few combo moves together. Referee didn't do anything to stop them, to get them out of the ring. Swerve and Ospreay attacked after the match. The Young Bucks got away. And then Swerve reiterated the challenge for the Young Bucks to put their EVP titles on the line. Matt said, "What's in it for us?" And he said no. To which Will Ospreay said that if the Young Bucks win, he and Swerve can't challenge for the World Championship for a year. Swerve was not on board with that. The Young Bucks accepted and said that if Swerve is on the same page, if he gets on the same page as Ospreay, then that's the match, which Swerve accepted. And then Swerve and Ospreay picked up the victory over LFI. LFI attacked before the bell. Ospreay and Swerve took over. LFI took over at one point. This was a lot like that previous match where there was so much happening. There was a lot in and out of the ring. And the referee just didn't care. And again, I was left forgetting who was legal. The main event saw Okada pick up the victory over Ibushi. I thought this was going to be a match in slow motion. Ibushi looked so much better than he did last week. Okada looked so much better than he's looked in months. It's a shame they didn't give this match more time. I wish, by the way, they gave women more time. This was the 300th episode of Dynamite. You could have featured another women's match. I think it's ridiculous that they didn't. But this match I thought was great. Ibushi's counter, the lariat counter to the Rainmaker, I thought was nice. He went for a Phoenix Splash at one point. Okada got up and German suplexed him off the middle rope. And then Ibushi got up, kicked Okada. Eventually he hits an avalanche, a Tiger Driver, which Okada kicked out of, but I was blown away by that. And then Okada eventually hit the Rainmaker to pick up the victory. This was an excellent main event for a Dynamite. I was, like I said, I was blown away. Because it was sad watching Ibushi last week. Because you could see him look better than he looked in that Blood and Guts match. But he was still moving slow. This was like a completely different version of Ibushi. And it was a completely different version of Okada. This was well done. The Don Callis family attacked afterwards. Kenny Omega made the save. Trent Beretta got in the ring. He went to hit Kenny with a baton. Ibushi stopped it. Omega put him down. Golden Lovers reunite. They hug. They rejoice. The fans go crazy. This was a pretty decent episode of Dynamite with a few here and there hiccups. Those two chaotic matches I could have done without. Would have been nice to have more women, like I said just before. But that's AEW Dynamite. Hey, Brandon, got any shout-outs?
I'm Louis Anderson, and survey says Brandon shout-outs.
Ironheart gets the first shout-out. It's out on Disney Plus, and it's getting a lot of hate. I don't know why it's getting all the hate outside of the first episode maybe being a bit slow. I'm enjoying it. For me, it's like a mix of Spider-Man and Captain Marvel. We were first introduced to Ironheart in Wakanda Forever. I don't know if people are hating on her because she's not Tony Stark. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm enjoying it. I think the action is fine.
I think that people just don't want to be happy and like things.
I don't know. I think this is a good show.
Mm-hmm.
The Bear is back for season 4. I always wish that there were more episodes, but at least it's been like a steady 10 instead of, I think season 1 was 8. But since season 2, it's all been 10. I wish also John Cena's character was back for this season. He was just in an episode on season 3. But season 4 continues the chase for the Michelin star while also dealing with the restaurant maybe running out of money. It's on Hulu. It's a fantastic show.
Is this a comedy or
it's
a drama?
Mix. It's a mix.
Okay, so is it... All right, so if it's a mix, is it dry humor?
It's...
Like The Office?
No. It's like there's different aspects. Like you'll get some romance, you'll get some drama, you'll get some comedy, depending on who's in the scene.
Because every time I've seen this show, everybody's loving it and stuff like that. At first, I thought it was a cooking, straight cooking show. I thought it was I thought it was actually a cook-off kind of a show. And then I found out that it was an actual sitcom.
I don't know if sitcom is really the right term.
Well, TV show, like a TV show.
And the thing is, I think they're in their Emmy category. I think it's comedy. I don't know if I would necessarily put it under comedy, but there is comedy to it.
Yeah, I didn't expect any of that from this show.
But yeah, I think it's fantastic. it ends on a cliffhanger where when you were first watching it, it wasn't renewed. People thought this was going to be the series finale. But they were renewed for season 5, thankfully. Where they take
Why would they not renew it? Isn't it like the hottest thing out there?
100%. I don't know why you would. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Like maybe because they wanted to get people, like maybe some sort of a way for publicity or something?
No, I don't know. I don't know if it was ever put out there that it was going to be the series finale. I just think people thought it was going to be.
That's weird.
I don't know if they said that or not. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm glad that it's coming back for season 5. I really, really wish there were more episodes. I could have used like 2 more episodes in this season. So check that on Hulu. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, gets the final shout out. It came out in theaters back in March. It's on Max now. It's streaming there. Porky Pig and Daffy Duck team up to save the Earth from aliens after they discover a plot for like mind control. It's like those classic sci-fi movies, but Looney Tunes. So if you do like those, I don't typically like those classic sci-fi movies or anything like that, but I like Looney Tunes. Did you say neither do you?
No, I do. I like Looney Tunes.
No, but not Looney Tunes. The sci-fi movies, do you like those?
It depends. It depends.
Like from the 50s-ish era?
No.
I feel like you'd be all over that.
I don't know.
There are episodes of The Twilight Zone that kind of fall into this.
Yeah, I mean, I like some episodes of The Twilight Zone, some older episodes of like Doctor Who.
So this was supposed to be released in 2021, and it was one of those projects that got shelved by Warner Brothers Discovery, and it was acquired by an independent film production and distribution company. Finally got released. They're the same company that is actually saving Coyote vs. Acme. That's going to be released in theaters next year. So go out. Well, first of all, watch this movie. And then next year, go out and support that movie. Because so many people that got to see Coyote vs. Acme said this was one of the greatest movies they've ever seen for the Looney Tunes. And I'm hoping that people show up for it. I'm hoping it does such great business that Warner Brothers Discovery looks like complete idiots. Because they continue to look like idiots. They truly do. They cancel so many shows and then they make all these stupid announcements. I can't with them. But check out The Day the Earth Blew Up. And it's kind of ironic that it's found itself on Max. Because Warner Brothers Discovery is part of that. They shelved it for years. And it's an enjoyable film. So check that out. Those are my shout outs. Now it's time for our
Mark Out Moment of the Week.
That is right, our Mark Out Moment of the Week. I have to say, from SmackDown last week, I spoke about it, obviously, but the Doctor of Punkonomics has to get a proper Mark Out moment, for sure.
Yeah, that was incredible.
I'm waiting for Mattel. I'm waiting for 2K to pick up on it. Who knows?
They already have t-shirts on sale.
Yeah. And people are like, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. CM Punk sold out. He's the worst person, blah, blah, blah. As if CM like this is the straight up, this is Miz. This isn't CM Punk. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassment Miz? Ritual.
Oh jeez. I hate IWC marks.
It's
marks,
awful.
Whatever you want to call them. I love our listeners. I just hate the people that do this crap.
It's awful. It's truly
Grow
awful.
up.
But yeah, I like that. And then also on the post show for Night of Champions, when Triple H was sitting out there, the fans in the background chanting Matt Cardona at Triple H. And he responded to another thing later on that they were chanting. So he 100% heard them chanting Matt Cardona.
It's only a matter of time.
What he does with it, who knows? If at all.
Who knows?
I know you had
just a matter of time.
You had a mark out moment, I'm sure.
Matt? Yeah. I actually have a few, but marking out because congratulations to Busted Open with Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7.
I just want 22 seconds so we can give them the world. I just want 22 seconds from Sirius
Pro
XM.
Wrestling Nation Busted Open.
I just need 22 seconds, and we'll, like I said, give them the world. I don't know. Obviously, we can't use that phrase, but
no. Yeah, but they got Busted Open, Not Sam podcast. You got like Rosenberg's podcast, but you also have like Jonathan Coachman. You're gonna have Matt Cardona. You still got your Busted Open After Dark. It's a 24/7 channel on Sirius Radio, so channel 156. Congratulations, Busted Open, Dave LaGreca, and all of them. Marked out for that announcement, and also marked out for a music video that got released. This is a music video, A Day to Remember All My Friends is the song, and the music video, the song is really catchy and really good. I'm a fan of it. But the music video features Seth Rollins burning it down with a flamethrower, going to town in that, and I marked out for that. And yeah, definitely check out the song. It is so damn catchy. I'm going to go listen to it again after this podcast recording.
I also have to throw out a big, mark out moment, but like it means more to me than John Cena probably knows. That in order to promote his new movie out on Amazon Prime, he brought back Lance Catamaran from Southpaw Regional Wrestling for a bit that people would see on John Cena's Twitter and not even know what the hell Lance Catamaran is. But I was such a fan of Southpaw Regional Wrestling, so I appreciate that character showing up. We were freaking promised years ago. They teased a freaking new season years ago, and we got nothing. And then there was a time in WWE where literally like everybody you possibly needed for another season of Southpaw Regional Wrestling, they were there. And they did nothing with it. And then John Cena came back. And they were all there, and slowly but surely, people are getting released left and right, and we have some still in the company. But I want more Southpaw.
Yeah.
You have any other mark out moments?
No.
Well,
I can take it home, though.
That is episode 752. Thank you so much for listening. If you're listening on July 4th, I hope you enjoyed the holiday. If you're celebrating this weekend, be freaking safe, please. Follow us on Twitter at Markin Out, at BTTG161 on all platforms. Chris Sweendog, CM Sweeney85, David PTDPT on all platforms. Facebook.com/MarkinOut, YouTube and Instagram, MarkinOut11. ProWrestlingTees.com/MarkinOut. Markin Out on TikTok. You can like and favorite all of our videos there and share all of our TikToks. That would be greatly appreciated. Leave comments. That'd be pretty cool. And then you could rate, review, and subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, iHeartRadio, markinout.com. We wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Have a fantastic week.